Let's have a look at that starting 11 one more time, and I'll tell you how many of them actually survive, maybe even the Amorim project.
4 defeats in a row now. Where does this Manchester United team go from here?
It happens very quickly, obviously, in the United Kingdom, as you and I both well know, that the games come thick and fast around the holiday period, and of course that's what's happening to Manchester United, where United would like it to slow down, please, so they can actually have some time on the training ground to work with his team. I mean, we mentioned it there, in the first 45 minutes, it was really embarrassing for Manchester United to be playing at Old Trafford in that way. I mean, they were sitting back and obviously inviting the pressure when they had possession of the ball, giving it very quickly back to Newcastle United, who were very good, by the way, and continuing their trend in the right direction by playing some fantastic football under Eddie Howe. But Newcastle should have been 5-0 up, and I'm not joking you, 5-0 up in the first 45 minutes. Chance after chance after chance. Manchester United, no shots on target, and if you compare the two sides, in the first 45 minutes alone, Adam, Newcastle took 11 shots, and they had an incredible 4 on target, got a couple of goals. United, they took 3 shots. In the first 45 minutes, we showed you a couple of them. And the finishing quality simply wasn't there when they're creating their chances. Defensively, being beaten, obviously, by quality today against Newcastle, but not stopping crosses. They were just running around like schoolboys. And you'll remember this, and most people out there who love the beautiful game and have played the beautiful game since they were very young. When you're in the schoolyard and someone has the ball, you normally see every single kid chase that ball. That's what Manchester United looked like in the first 45 minutes. The team's not good enough, and a lot of these players are really struggling right now to show that they even have a future under Amorim.
Chasing shadows rather than the ball. Josh Zirkzee, the number 11 there, he was subbed off after about half an hour. What do you think of that's tough for the player to deal with? We saw him head straight down to the tunnel in those highlights there. What message do you think this sends out to the rest of the team?
Well, I think the message clearly is that this is unacceptable, and if you're not performing well, you will be hooked. I don't think this was a personal dig at Zirkzee. I think tactically it was a move to bring a midfielder on where they were getting absolutely humiliated at Old Trafford. So you've got to make a move, so someone has to come off the field. I think Zirkzee is going to take this pretty hard, though. I mean, he certainly wasn't too happy. He went straight down the tunnel afterwards, and understandably so. I'd be pissed off as well. I certainly wouldn't be too happy with the manager. But right now, United, in that type of form that they're in right now, Amorim's got to try and show some sort of leadership, and some sort of, in my opinion, some sort of leadership where he's saying that this is unacceptable for our football club.
But is this expected, given, I mean, we saw the team there and the players that are playing? I mean, this just isn't a Manchester United team that we saw 10 years ago, 15 years ago in the golden days. If you were Ruben Amorim, how many of that starting 11, or how many of this squad would you actually keep? Does this just need a complete root and branch, get them all out and start again?
Let's have a look at that starting 11 one more time, and I'll tell you how many of them actually survive, maybe even the Amorim project. The problem is you've got obviously long-term contracts, high salaries, and a number of players there who are committed to Manchester United for the future, because they're never going to get that type of money again. You're never going to get these contracts again. But this starting 11, it was good on paper, but still, is it good enough for Manchester United to improve where their standing is? I mean, Højlund, 2 goals on the campaign, as already pointed out there. Nowhere near good enough in 14 appearances. Zirkzee's not a Manchester United player. This guy did well in Italian football, but struggled at Bayern Munich, a club similar stature and size and history. Amad Diallo's done well in periods this season. He's been certainly a shining star, but he's not the future.
For me, he'd be one of the ones, particularly because of his endeavour and the amount that he shows in terms of effort.
Yes.
And you can improve that player. He'd be one of the few that I would keep.
At 22 years old, Ivory Coast International, there's a future there. Onana's the other one that I'd say there's a future is. Martinez, I find it very difficult to criticise him because obviously he's a World Cup winner, but he's not good enough for Manchester United. Maguire's getting too old for Manchester United. De Ligt, an Ajax player, struggled again at Bayern Munich, not good enough for Manchester United. Casemiro and Eriksen, regardless of their history and the success that they have had in world football, whether it be Inter for Eriksen, whether it be Spurs for Eriksen, or whether it be Real Madrid for Casemiro, not good enough. Mazraoui is an Ajax player, not good enough for Manchester United. Diego Dalot gets a lot of credit for what he does for Manchester United. For me, not a fan, never have been a fan of him at Manchester United at all. There's only Onana and Diallo are the 2 players from this starting 11 that I think Manchester United and Amorim should say, hey, you know what, we can actually build around these players. I feel sorry for Onana, you know. This guy's a quality goalkeeper, but he's inevitably going to make mistakes when you receive as many shots as Manchester United do in a game. Last year it was embarrassing. There was only, what, 1 or 2 clubs who had more shots faced against them than Manchester United? I feel sorry for Onana, but Diallo's done well this season and deserves a real shot.
The tough thing for the fans is you can't do that. You can't just blow it all up and start again. So he's going to have to find a way to get a tune out of a lot of those players.
10-year project, and it might even take, I know he said 5 years, but this is going to take a long time because of the long-term contracts, the financial fair play. It's a mess at Manchester United because what you've got is money going out the door this past summer, 100 million. And I like Lenny Euro as well. He's good, but he's struggling with injury, obviously, to get into the team. But United have got to get rid of players whose values have dropped desperately to be able to spend as much money as they need to correct this.